Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of the Knothole Gang. What is going on, guys? I'm going to be your host, Tanner. Welcome. Hopefully everybody's having a fun, fantastical filled day. We got some more baseball news to be talking about.
Yeah.
This one today. Very excited, man. I'm very excited for this. We're going to break down a couple things today. We're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to be posting these things. So if you guys haven't already checked them out, we're going to be posting this on YouTube. We're going to be posting this on Twitch and a bunch of other stuff. Probably Twitter. If you guys haven't followed us on Twitter, be sure to follow us on all of our respective social medias. Thank you guys so much. I'm excited to be beginning this because, as you guys know, we're Pirate fans. We like to root our guys on. And finally, we got some stuff that we can be talking about. So that is what we're going to be breaking into. We got a couple articles that I just want to talk about. We're going to be discussing for today. One of them is ranking the top 10 best spring breakout rosters, which, as you guys can know, little spoilers, we might have a top 10 right here kind of going to be talking about. Don't want to dive into it too much yet. We will save this for a moment in the future. We do have this one as well, 10 players having a scorching spring training. So very similar in nature. We're going to be kind of going back to back with these ones, kind of talking about each other maybe respectively while we can. And then the final one is going to be this one, which is actually what we are going to be starting our little episode today about. Ladies and gentlemen, Gerrit Cole needs an MRI on his pitching elbow. May not be anything serious, but we're going to find out. Yankees ace Gerrit Cole will have an MRI on his pitching elbow. Yankees manager Aaron Boone said on Monday morning. Okay, Cole has allowed 3 runs on 4 hits in 2 innings against Toronto on March 1st in his lone spring outing thus far. Boone said that the right-hander has had issues with his recovery after pitching, adding that Cole compared it to what he feels during the season after throwing 100 pitches. Cole went 15-4 with a 2.63 ERA in his 4th season for New York in 2023 en route to his first career Cy Young Award. Worth noting, Big Ace Cy Young Award winner Gerrit Cole does have to get an MRI. Again, this might be something that isn't serious, but I did want to include it in today's episode because, you know, who knows? Maybe Gerrit Cole is going to need something down the road. If he's feeling like he's throwing 100 innings or 100 pitches already and it's this early in the season, that's got me worried. That may be something they really want to look at. And like they said, you know, now's the time to do it. Believe it or not, and this might be subject to popular belief, I think if anybody is going to get hurt right now, having Gerrit Cole get hurt is going to really make things hard on the New York Yankees, who just spent a lot of money to get some really good offense. You know, they got guys like Juan Soto added. They're hoping that the pitching's going to be better. Now, given they do got guys like Marcus Stroman, who they did also add, that will be nice pieces to have if something like this happens, right? My question is, there is nobody in baseball right now that you're going to get that's going to replace Gerrit Cole. So if this is the case, the Yankees are going to have to do their best to move on from the situation and handle what they can, because they don't have a replacement. No team has a replacement for this right now, and there's certainly not one available. So, you know, just kind of hindsight looking into it, maybe Gerrit Cole, maybe the Yankees want to end up, I think personally you want to really be precautious with this. You don't want this to be something that's going to be a serious injury. If this is just overall fatigue and wear on his arm, just, you know, maybe he's doing some too vigorous trainings in spring, something like that, maybe just, you know, knock him down a little bit. I don't know. To me, it seems like it's going to be a little more serious than that, but who knows? Let's keep a positive outlook. We don't like to see stars like Gerrit Cole going down. I don't care what anyone says. You don't like to see the top guys in baseball going down. You don't like to see anybody going down with injuries. And this one definitely hurts everybody, especially just overall baseball. You know, you like to see the best guys out there, especially pitchers. You know, you want to see the best guy every 5 days. Unfortunately for the Yankees, they're in a position where that may not be the case. So, moving into it, let's let's talk about some baseball stuff, man. This one, again, I'm excited. Ranking the top 10 best spring breakout rosters. Now, given, before, little disclosure, little FYI, we're talking spring training baseball right now. Does that mean these are the top 10 best teams in baseball right now? By far, no. This does not mean these are the top 10. And I think you could probably tell right off from the beginning, this isn't an article based on the top 10 best teams. The Pirates, the Nationals, the Red Sox, the Rockies, those aren't top tier teams right now, okay? I'm going to give a little bit of respect to some of the other teams because they're definitely trending in the right direction, and I like to see them on this list. But let's talk about it for a second, and let me talk to you. Yeah. Oh, wait, wrong one. Let me talk to you. Here we go. The 2024 MLB Pipeline Preseason Farm System Rankings were published Friday night, giving fans an idea of how the young talent of each organization's line up. Supporters of all 30 clubs will get a closer look at the next generation of stars this week during MLB's inaugural Spring Breakout, a series of exhibitions played across Arizona and Florida showcasing the best prospects in the game. But breakout rosters released last Thursday aren't made up of an entire farm system. Every team had to make decisions based on injuries, pitching availability, major league roster competitions, position battles, and more to form their collections of talent. So, talking about that, we could go into these links if you guys want to. You guys got it. I'm going to do my best to try to post some of these links so you guys can do your own reading. If you want to check out these articles, I'll have them down in the description. This is a new channel, though. Knothole Gang is a new channel, so the first couple episodes, I'm still waiting to get, the one-step verification done. So, once that's done, I think we will have, hyperlinks and everything like that being able to be available in the description. But for the podcast, the last podcast, Season 2, Episode 1, it wouldn't let me upload it. So unfortunately, I don't know how many hyperlinks we're going to be able to upload for you guys, but if you guys want to follow along, please do so. The links and everything are right there. You guys can copy them if you would like to. Secondarily, looking at who was included in the rollout thus far, here are the top 10 spring breakout rosters. So I'm just going to rip them down the line real quick, and then we're going to talk about these guys because some of these guys we already did talk about in the last podcast. San Diego Padres, including top 100 prospects of Ethan Salas, who we did cover. Jackson Merrill covered a little bit. He's having a pretty decent spring, I do believe. We'll check him out in a bit. Robbie Snelling, Dylan Lesko, Drew Thorpe are all guys that they're listing. Total top 30 prospects, 22. Kinda nuts when you think about that. This is subject to change with Spring Breakout overlapping in the Soul Series, but the initial San Diego roster is as loaded as you'll find in the inaugural edition of the event. At 17 years old, Salas will get ample attention behind the dish, and the possibility of him catching 3 top 10 arms in Snelling, Lesko, and Thorpe, as well as upper-level arms Jairo Iriarte and Adam Mazer is incredibly enticing. And yet, he isn't even the youngest player on the roster. That status belongs to a 17-year-old shortstop, Leodolis Deveries, who just signed in January, but in typical Padres style, is already working out stateside. Number 2, talking about the Milwaukee Brewers and their top 100 prospects. They got 4. They got Jackson Chourio, who we definitely covered, Jacob Misritsky, Jefferson Curo, and Tyler Black. Again, kind of talking about all these guys, but these are exciting things to be talking about. Talking about Milwaukee is sending all 4 of its top 50 overall prospects, including the shining star of the system in Chourio, amid his push for a Major League Opening Day spot. Chourio, power speed combo, Misrowitsky's wicked stuff, Curo's defense, and Black's plate approach give the crew multiple elite tools to display against the Royals on Sunday. But the organization's depth will also be put on view. Upper-level arms Robert Gazer and Carlos F. Rodriguez bring ample experience to the mound. 19-year-old outfielder Luis Lara can stand out with his contact and defense, and 2023 first-rounder Brock Wilken provides plenty of power. So interesting, worth noting, the Brewers. And you're going to notice NL Central's kind of popping off in here because as we transition into the next team, you guessed it, the Cubbies. They got 6 top 100 prospects. We're breaking them down. Pete Crow, Armstrong, Cade Horton, Owen Casey, Matt Shaw, Kevin Alcantara, and James Triantos, talking about the Cubs have a league best 7 top 100 prospects, and of those 7, presumed opening day starter Michael Busch is the only one not on the Breakout roster. Crow Armstrong was a late addition and brings plenty of acclaim as the best overall defender in the entire event. Keep an eye on Shaw, who continues to pop with a .571 slugging percentage over 12 Cactus League games in his first spring training. Horton is the only pitcher ranked among Chicago's top 13 prospects participating, and the longer look fans can get at him, the more interesting this roster gets. Fun. Moving into our Pittsburgh Pirates. Top 100 prospects at 4. We got Paul Skeens, Tamar Johnson, Anthony Solometto, and Bubba Chandler. Total top 30 prospects, 21. We're going to be talking about the matchup versus the Orioles on Thursday, March 17th at 7:05. Going to be a fun one. We are getting the matchup of dreams when Paul Skeens, the number 1 overall pick in 2023, faces off against Jackson Holliday, the number 1 overall pick in 2022 on Thursday. The former LSU Stars inclusion underscores just how good this Pittsburgh pitching group can be. Imagine facing 102 from Skeens, 1 at bat, seeing Solometto's Gardner-esque delivery next, and then wrapping up by facing Chandler's upper 90s heat at the top of the zone. Best of luck. Johnson, who homered twice back on February 26, provides the lineup with some needed star power. Fun. Moving on, Washington Nationals. We got top 100 prospects in Dylan Cruz, James Wood, and Brady Howes. I feel like we've heard James Wood's name for a while. We're going to be talking about that a little bit. I think they mention it. With 4 straight 5th place finishes in the NL East, the Nationals want to put as much spotlight on their future as possible, and they have the spring breakout roster to match that philosophy. Both the organization and its fans have been dreaming of seeing Cruz and Wood share an outfield since the former was selected 2nd overall last July. And after spending some time together in AA, the pair will pick up their partnership in Port St. Lucie. House will anchor the infield group with his loud bat, along with 2023 first-round pick Yohandy Morales, Elijah Green, Yarlin Susana, and Travis Sikora. Each 20 or younger could provide loud tools at young ages. Fun. We got 4 more squads to be talking about right now. We got one of them being the Boston Red Sox. They got 4 top 100 prospects, 21 of the total top 30 prospects. Here we go. Number 4, Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, Kyle Teal, and Ceddanne Rafaela. Fun stuff, lot of talent here as well. A very good catcher in Kyle Teal, recently signed. I think he was, last year they brought Teal in, something like that. Boston continues to center its big 3 of Meyer, Anthony, and Teal, and the fans can expect that farm system core to take up a lot of the spotlight against Atlanta. Rafaela provides another pleasant top 100 addition, given his major league experience, and his center field defense could give him the breakout series some of its best highlights. While the Red Sox system isn't packed with pitching, the club kept things interesting in that department with top arm Wikelman Gonzalez and offseason acquisition Richard Fitz and David Sandelin. Okay, here we go. Baltimore Orioles. This is a fun team, man. Everybody's talking about Baltimore this year. This is definitely a team I think people were kind of really rooting for. They got 3 top 100 prospects: Jackson Holliday, who we already mentioned, Samuel Basallo, and Kobe Mayo, who's having a pretty decent spring. Talking about it, it doesn't get better than number 1, does it? Like Churio, Holliday is fighting for a major league spot to begin his age 20 season. But for the day, he'll be able to show what makes him stand out among his prospect peers, namely his plus hit tool and butting power from the left side. Basallo has been ruled out from catching due to a right elbow stress fracture, but after hitting .313, .402, .551 with 20 home runs across 3 levels in 2023, he could give Pirate pitchers fits. Mayo's incredible raw power has made him one of Baltimore's spring standouts, and 2023's first rounder Enrique Bradfield Jr. could be a menace on the base paths. The O's, however, are light on arms and only only 2 top 30 pitchers scheduled to participate. Interesting. Moving on, we have Minnesota Twins. They got 4 guys: Walker Jenkins, Brooks Lee, Emmanuel Rodriguez, and Gabriel Gonzalez. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know too much about these guys. Minnesota's top 2 prospects come from opposite ends of the development spectrum. 5-tool outfielder Jenkins is just about to begin his first full minor league season, while 65 grade hitter Lee is closing in on the show. Rodriguez and Gonzalez give the Twins 2 more talented options on the grass. Outside that top 100 group, the organization's next top 3 prospects, David Festa, Marco Rea, and Charlie Soto, are among its breakout pitching staff. Soto, in particular, has already been up to 99 miles an hour in backfield's throwing sessions and is expected to get a long look on Saturday. Fun. Number 9, we got Cole Young, Harry Ford, and Cole Emerson of the Seattle Mariners. Even though they play similar positions, there should be some hope to get both Young and Emerson in the same breakout lineup, giving M's fans of a preview of a future Seattle double play partnership. Ford is no stranger to the spotlight, given his extensive international experience with Great Britain, and comparing him to Salas behind the plate should make this Peria matchup an even more fun one. Seattle earns extra points for including each of its top 10 prospects, including Lazaro Montes and his 65 grade power, and 18-year-old Felon Celestin, who has still yet to make his minor league debut. Last one, Colorado Rockies. We got the top 100s. They got Adel Amador, Chase Dollander, Yaquiel Fernandez, and Jordan Beck. Colorado's outfield group is the deepest here, headlined by 2 top 100 talents in Fernandez and Beck, and supplemented with 4 others from the system's top 10, Sterling Thompson, Zach Veen, Cole Gehrig, Benny Montgomery. Given his 60-hit tool from both sides of the plate, Amador would highlight any infield group, and 2023 top pick Dollander gives the Rocks a potential stud arm. Don't sleep on Hunter Goodwin's power either, with 70 homers combined over his last 2 minor league seasons. So, a lot to be talking about. Let me know, guys, down in the comments below. Was one of your teams one of the guys that be mentioned? Are you a fan of what they had to say about these teams? Do you agree with them? I'm excited. There's a lot of talent coming up. If you are following the major leagues, you are definitely not shy from that fact that there is a lot of great baseball to be coming up in the future. And talking about some of these stars, let's get right into it. We got the top 10 guys that have been having some of the better breakout seasons in spring training as of recently. And here we go. We aren't really meant to read into spring training stats for a number of reasons. They measure a small sample size when players are trying to warm up after a few months off, and no one really plays preseason exhibition games with results in mind in any sport. Plenty of incredible seasons have followed dismissal spring training performance, and vice versa. Here we are. In any event, spring numbers aren't usually are not indicative of how a player is going to perform in the regular season, but they can give an idea of things that are harder to measure: a young prospect's confidence in his game, or how a player is recovering after a major injury the year before. For example, with that in mind, here's a look at 10 notable players having big springs. Colton Cowser of the Orioles. He's going 9 for 20 with a 450 average, 5 home runs with a 1,627 OPS. That is naughty. Here we go. Cowser's brief 2023 debut, in which he had a 148 slugging percentage in 26 games, didn't do much for his stock, especially when compared to some of the best-case scenario debuts the Orioles have had over the last few seasons. Where Baltimore's number 3 prospect could fit on the roster remains a question. But to start with, he's making a case for the Orioles to consider finding him a spot, although he is, notably, in direct competition with Kyle Stowers, who is also having a great spring in what could be a make-or-break season. Next up, Anthony Rizzo. 8 for 19. Good to see. Because, as they're going to be saying, the concussion Rizzo sustained last season threw a wrench into what was shaping up to be a resurgent campaign. At the time of the injury, he was hitting .304 with 11 home runs. After struggling with post-concussion syndrome, he hit .172 with a .225 slugging percentage and just one home run over his final 46 games before being placed on the IL for good on August 3rd. Coming into camp, the extent to which that was going to affect him going forward was something of a mystery, but early on, there appears to be no cause for concern. After struggling to see the ball down the stretch in 2023, he is hitting .467 thus far this spring. Very fun, very fun. Edward Julian of the Twins on the list of players to watch for potential breakout 2024 seasons, Julian is a real sleeper pick. The 2024-year-old didn't draw much attention as a rookie in 2023, but by season's end, he'd become Minnesota's primary second baseman and preferred leadoff hitter. With good reason, too. Julian posted a .381 on-base percentage with a 15.7 walk rate, 98th percentile, and the lowest chase rate in baseball at a 14.3%, and as having at least a minimum of 100 plate appearances. That he's also flashing some power early this spring is an exciting prospect. He did hit 16 home runs in 109 games last season to accompany his ridiculous plate discipline, especially given that the Twins seem content to roll with him as their starting second baseman for the foreseeable future. Now we move into Eloy Jimenez of the White Sox, and he is having a monster campaign. For Jimenez, plagued throughout the major league career by a series of injuries, 2023 was a step in the right direction. He played 120 games, his most since he played a career high of 122 in 2019, and hit the injured list only once after having an appendectomy, and the way he's tearing the cover off the ball this spring should only serve to encourage those hoping he'll be healthy and a full strength on opening day. I'll be honest, White Sox need this guy to be healthy. Him and Robert in a lineup together can genuinely make an impact. I know we talked about these guys earlier before, saying how I wasn't fully confident in their abilities, and I was saying how I really think they're going to be an average team. Eloy Jimenez and Robert could easily put the White Sox a little further than they are. Next up, Zach Neto of the Angels. Because the 2023 Angels infield situation almost immediately deteriorated, Neto was the first 2022 draftee to make it to the majors. And as with a lot of rush debuts, his didn't go especially well. Although a perfectly capable infielder, he clearly lagged behind the plate, ending the season with an OPS plus of 86. And again, as with a lot of rush debuts, it wasn't really possible to immediately determine what impact that would have on his development. You can make a perfect judge based on 3 weeks of baseball, but as it stands, Neto appears to have come a long way at the plate over just one winter. Moving on, we got Wyatt Langford of the Rangers. Last year's 4th overall pick has a real shot to make the opening day roster. In no small part due to his early production, we're dealing in small sample sizes here, but Langford's meteoric rise has been ongoing. The 22-year-old made it all the way to AAA in the first professional season, posting a combined 1,157 OPS with 10 home runs and more walks, 36, than strikeouts at 34 in 44 games across 4 levels. Making a roster as stacked as the Rangers is a long shot would be no small thing. Even so, Langford is making a remarkably strong case. And now we're moving on to one of my guys, Henry Davis, catcher / outfield now. 7 for 21 with a .333, 4 home runs, and a 1,280 OPS. It's hard to overstate how much was placed on Davis's shoulders when the Pirates made him a first overall pick 3 years ago. That made his pedestrian debut season. In 62 games, he hit just .213 and spent the vast majority of his playing time in the outfield, as the Pirates appeared intent on passing the catching job over to Endy Rodriguez instead, feeling more significant than it might have otherwise. But Davis was indirectly given the opportunity to assert himself as a viable starting catcher again when Rodriguez tore his UCL playing winter ball, and he doesn't appear willing to waste it, having already cranked 4 home runs in the early going. Let's look at him. Let's do it. Let's watch him. let's watch it. I guess while we're waiting for that, we can kind of talk about the next one. It's going to be Tanner Houck, which is one of the only pitchers that we've really been talking about. I'm excited to see it. But, I just kind of want to show the bashing right here. Let's see it.
Number 1 pick in 21.
Watch it fly.
2-1.
See? It sounds just so good.
Turn and watch the third home run of the afternoon fly out of the ballpark.
Salutations to that
Davis,
baseball.
his third home run of the spring.
He's looking good, man.
Pittsburgh,
Henry's looking real good. But next up, we got Tanner Houck of the Red Sox. He's got 8 innings, 4 hits, only letting up the 1 run on 2 walks while striking out 9. A converted starter for most of the 2022 season, the Red Sox had moved Houck back to the rotation in 2023, where he got off to a shaky start before he was struck in the face by a line drive on June 16th and missed just over 2 months waiting on his facial fractures to heal. He did make 21 starts overall, but ultimately the numbers weren't much to look at 5.01 ERA with a 1.37 whip. Manager Alex Cora noted early on this spring that Houck has added the most velocity on the staff, with the right-hander acknowledged was a reflection of his return to full health. Houck, who came into spring training prepared to battle for Boston's final opening rotation spot, now looks like more of a lock, with his strong outings coming amidst the news that the Red Sox have already lost offseason addition Lucas Giolito to an elbow injury. And we got 2 more guys. The last one, Chris Sale, former Red Sox, now Brave. Mark Sale, a 7-time All-Star who once had a string of 6 straight top 5 Cy Young Award finishes. Down as an underdog, the Braves took on less than half of his 2024 salary in the offseason trade that brought him to Atlanta, which should be an indication of the uncertainty surrounding him. But Sale proved in 20 starts last year, the most he'd made in a season since 2019, that he still has that swing and miss stuff that made him one of the best pitchers in baseball for so many years, tallying 125 strikeouts and 102 2/3 innings entering his age 35 season. He's definitely not what he was, having been put through the ringer physically, but based on his early showings, the stuff is still there. A healthy Sale, even in a partial season, would be an enormous get for the Braves regardless of the role he ended up playing. Very nice to see. Very happy for that. And finally, to wrap up today's video and all the fun news, we have Tyler McGill of the Mets going 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks while striking out 13 guys. The Mets' 6th starter for much of the last 3 seasons, McGill has a legitimate shot to stick in the rotation on a more permanent basis after only winning the job back amidst his club's pitching exodus in the 2023 deadline. To this point, his case is looking pretty good. The 28-year-old came to spring training tinkering with a splitter, and his revamped repertoire has made him racking up strikeouts early on. In his last appearance on March 5th start against the Yankees, he struck out 6, drawing 10 whiffs on 22 swings. That's good for a 45.4% whiff rate. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your top 10 players of the breakout spring so far. That is your top 10 teams breaking out in spring so far as prospects for that breakout series. And what do you guys know about Garrett Cole? Also, is there anybody that you guys feel should be on this list that was missed out? Is there somebody that you guys are really happy, you're really, really excited to see? For me, somebody that I'm excited to see how they're performing, okay? I got 2. I'll give you 2. Jared Jones. Really liking what I'm seeing from that guy, right? Really looking like he could be a part of the Pittsburgh team. Who knows down in the future. And then the next one, Jared Triolo, also doing very, very good. Just my 2 guys that I think are also playing really good. Gonna worth note. Let me know, guys, down in the comments below. Let me know who you want to see. Was your team mentioned? Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of a little bit of some news, some updates. Who knows who we will be talking about next. But ladies and gentlemen, yeah, that's gonna do it for us today. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye.
Yeah.